Daily update time. It is February 23rd, 2018. And I have a lot on my mind. I have a lot of ideas flowing, a lot of thoughts going on, and I'm liking it because they're not thoughts and ideas that are clouding up my mind and distracting me from being mindful. Rather, they're good ideas. They're things that I'm thinking about that make me feel good. And I think a large part of the reason why I'm in this place where I have a lot flowing in a good direction is because I've been doing these daily updates for about a week now. I think I have taken time to sit down in front of a camera and just speak my mind, talk about what comes up, what I'm thinking about, with no pressure on myself to talk about anything in particular, to create anything that meets a certain standard. It was just me sitting down, talking about whatever it is I wanted to talk about. And it was for myself. It is for myself. It's primarily for myself because I went into it for a few reasons. One being hoping to get out of it, which I am getting out of it, and this is going really well, is I feel like it's helping me be more comfortable with just expressing myself in a natural way and speaking about the things that are just coming from here rather than getting caught up with thinking too much about what it is I want to talk about. Because that's something that has held me back. I got caught in the trap of overthinking it rather than just kind of flowing with what it is I wanted to talk about. So in this past week, I've been doing that with, again, no intention of putting out these videos. It was 100% just for myself, and I have noticed a huge improvement in my ability to just sit down here and flow and express myself because I wasn't thinking about anyone seeing this. And I know that when I sit in front of the camera and I'm overly planned with what I want to say, then I can get caught up with cutting myself off from flowing into what felt right for me. So this past week of taking these videos for myself, I've come to realizing that there can be value found in sharing these updates that I'm creating. What I came to realize was I've been holding back on sharing a very large part of what it is that I'm experiencing, thinking through, a very large part of my story. And I've been doing that because I didn't feel like it fit in with my brand. You see, in the business world, there's a lot of talk about having a niche, having a very narrowed in space of topics from which you generate your ideas for creating content. And so many people talk about the importance of staying within that very refined, narrowed in niche. So for example, my niche is within the space of spirituality and health, let's say. Now, a lot of people in the business world would look at that and say, you know, that's too broad of a niche. That's too broad of a topic to talk about. You're not going to be able to fill that space effectively. You should probably narrow it in on something more specific. That's the advice I was hearing from a lot of people that give business advice, and I do a ton of research on building a effective brand and business. And that idea that you need to be talking about a very specific thing caused me to hold myself back from talking about a very large part of my story and my experiences because I felt like it didn't fit within my niche. But I'm starting to let go of those beliefs. Mind you, I still think there's importance in that. There's importance in having a niche, being specific with what it is that your message is. But I am a firm believer in the value and benefit that one can reap, as well as the impact that you can have when you document and tell your story to the fullest. There's just so much power in sharing the experiences you're having, the lessons you're learning from it. And again, not only will you benefit from that process of doing it, and I'll talk a lot more about what I think you can get out of this, but know that it's a process that will both benefit you as well as impact others. And so I want to let you guys in more on my daily updates, because in them I am talking about things that I haven't really been talking about in my content. Maybe it doesn't line up with the story I've created in my head for Ascend, but I want to start sharing more of this through maybe just my personal brand. There's a space for this. There's definitely room for me to do this. I'm starting to realize that. As I'm talking in this camera right now, I am coming to these ideas. I'm coming to these perspectives. And that's one of the biggest benefits right there with documenting. Here, perfect quote that I absolutely love by Seth Godin. He says, I don't write often because I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of ideas because I write often. And that has definitely lined up with my experience with creating these daily updates for the last week. The more that I put myself in that space of just speaking about what is on my mind, the more ideas that start flowing out of me, the more that I end up having to say, and a lot of those ideas I end up realizing are valuable ideas that are worth sharing. So I guess I'll leave off with that. I invite you to do this as well. Again, I will talk a lot more about documenting, how you should go about it. I think it's really simple though. Just share what you're going through and what's on your mind. But I will talk a lot more about the process of it, why I think it's important. But right now, I'll leave it at that. I am going to be doing this a lot more. I'm going to be sharing a lot more of the experiences I'm having, specifically with my journey of living out from my heart and aligning with what I feel is right for me. I once said I would focus on the topics of helping people create a fulfilling life for themselves, and that is still very much my focus. But then it's become super clear to me that showing people how I'm living a life that I love will inspire them to do the same. And that's what I hope for these kinds of videos to be. Anyways guys, that is all for this video. Love you all. Until the next video, keep ascending.